O'Connell! Hey, O'Connell! It looks like I have all the horses!
Hey, Benny, looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Real Screen Team. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with fellow mummy, Christopher Johnson.
Hello everyone.
And we're back with our Mummyathon.
Yes, talking about the film I was most familiar with, and
so was I.
Well, yeah. And also one of the films I enjoyed watching and rewatching growing up.
Yeah.
But let's get into the overview. The Mummy is a 1999 action-adventure film written and directed by Stephen Sommers, based on a story written by Sommers, Lloyd Fonnevet, and Kevin Jorb. The film was produced by Alphaville Films and distributed by Universal Pictures. The film is a remake of the 1932 film of the same name. The film stars Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, Kevin J. O'Connor, Jonathan Hyde, Oded Fehr, and Arnold Vosloo in the title role of the reanimated mummy. And the synopsis. Adventurer Rick O'Connell travels to Hamunaptra, the city of the dead, with librarian Evelyn Carnahan and her older brother Jonathan, where they accidentally awake Imhotep, a cursed high priest with supernatural powers.
It's still really good. It's really 90s.
Yes. Well, 90s / early 2000s.
Yes.
But I love this film. I don't understand why some people talk about it in a bad way. It really is a fun and enjoyable film.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. I remember seeing it on TV. At least some of it I can remember. I think I missed the first part of... But I got to the part where he actually started killing the 4 guys for their organs.
To become whole again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interestingly enough for me, I watched it first through the DVD. And then I saw The Mummy Returns properly in theaters. So, bit of a different way of getting into it, but really love this film. But why don't we start getting into the cast? Starting with the main man himself, the adventurer of this whole thing, Rick O'Connell, played by Brendan Fraser.
He's better than David Manner's character as Frank Whipple.
Yes, and plus, he has a lot more to do. He's important to the plot. And the man is also just so charismatic and funny, while at the same time being a real badass.
And this movie resurrected his career. It literally did resurrect his career with the success. Because until then, he just didn't get much role.
Well, I mean,
good roles.
I mean, a couple years before that, he was George of the Jungle and Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah, but the way when we look back at it now, the Dudley Do-Right thing, I think, was the thing that brought him down.
Yeah, it did.
So this is the resurrection for the Dudley Do-Right,
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Because this actually gave Brendan Fraser more opportunity to show his charisma and everything about him that makes him, one of the more memorable actors of, our generation.
Yep.
I mean, from his witty one-liners to him literally yelling in the face of danger. And him definitely willing to throw hands, shoot guns, or fight with a sword when necessary.
Although he also has the brigadier unit mentality, is see anything, you shoot it without knowing its true weakness.
Or blow it up.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, he's a soldier.
Yeah.
When we first see him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna kind of think like that. Plus, he has a whole arsenal in his duffel bag.
Mm-hmm.
But with also that, I do enjoy the rapport and chemistry that he starts the show with, the whole cast.
Yes.
That he really is a nice stand-up guy.
Yep.
He may be a bit gruff and rough around the edges, but he's a nice guy.
Yep. Even though he can manipulate people to get what he wants.
Well, hey, that's
like Eva.
Evie.
Evie, yeah.
Well, hey. Sometimes you got to be smart.
Before he falls for her, he was just using her until then.
Yeah, so he didn't, die from being hung.
Yeah.
Which, did they really go too much into detail about what he did that got him arrested?
No, not really. Oh, they didn't really say what he got arrested for.
All they say is he had a very good time. But with talking about the main man, why don't we go into the woman with the knowledge of this whole situation? Mm-hmm. Evelyn Carnahan, played by Rachel Weisz.
Yep.
I love Rachel Weisz in this. I really do.
Yeah, she played the hot librarian, which you could see from the opening scene.
Yes, who is...
That's my main fantasy right there, is the hot librarian.
But I love Rachel Weisz in this. Seeing her as this proper lady that acts a little bit like a fish out of water, a little bit, getting thrust into adventure. Mm-hmm. But over time, she really gets accustomed to it and, actually helps.
Yep.
And, though it's unfortunate that she's the one that accidentally resurrects Imhotep.
Yep.
Don't read things.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the vicinity of an ancient mummy that went through horrible mummification while still alive and was given a very, very dangerous curse.
Yep. But she was more into Campbell before he got into her with that kiss.
She was more into Rick.
Yeah, Rick, yeah.
Well, hey. And she definitely got more interested in him when he got cleaned up after she saved him from dying.
Yeah.
But what I really enjoy is her moments of growing her chemistry with Rick.
Yep.
In a weird way, he's helping her get out of her shell.
And before she got with Daniel Craig, they thought that many people thought that these two were actually seeing each other.
Well, I mean, it's not a hard thing to believe because it's crazy how much chemistry Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz have.
Yeah.
It feels right.
And this is also her first real blockbuster movie she ever did. Yeah, she only did very small or very indie or whatever films,
independent films.
Yeah, probably BBC film stuff. Yeah.
Well, hey.
So this is her big break here.
As far as American films.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's crazy how this movie set up a lot of people's longevity as actors.
Yeah, and at the time she thought she wasn't going to get a career, that she made the wrong choice of joining the Mummy. She didn't think it was going to succeed.
Oh, that's adorable. You had no idea that this would end up becoming one of your biggest crowning achievements.
Yeah.
To the point that you have grown into such endearment for a whole generation.
Yeah. Let's get to her brother.
Jonathan Carnahan, played by John Hannah. One of the numerous comedic reliefs in this film, and I think he's quite possibly one of my favorites next to Rick and one of the others that we talk about.
Yeah, he was played by, at that time, a non-comedic actor.
Which is crazy.
I think I saw him play a villain once. I don't remember where. John Hannah, but
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is truly a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
The man has pedigree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he also has this very unique charisma. That's why when he's the comedic relief, it doesn't get annoying or anything like that. It's kind of charming.
And he sort of saves the day at the end with him reading the book.
Yes. Weirdly enough, there are times where Jonathan may be a little, bit of a scaredy cat, or he does something to try to save his own neck, and everyone else save yourselves. But when it comes time to really help the ones that he truly cares about, he comes in clutch.
And he also got injured during the making of, on his wrists. If you look at the end of the movie, you can see bandages around his wrists. He got injured in the wrists during the filming, yeah.
Now, what exactly was the moment that possibly injured him?
They didn't really say.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy Jonathan. I mean, just about nearly any kind of one-liner he does is just hilarious. And at the same time, he's also very knowledgeable about all the plagues Imhotep is bringing about everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point that he's literally quoting the Bible. But with talking about our main adventurers, do we get more into the other supporting cast that is traveling along with them, or do we get into the villain?
Let's get to the villain this time.
Okay.
Because the other ones are red shirts.
Well, except for a couple.
Oh. Okay,
well,
let's get...
Okay, one.
Okay, one.
Get into the other major supporting.
Yeah.
Ardith Bay, played by Oded Fur.
Yeah, and they separated the characters in this adaptation.
Yes, which I think was probably for the best. Because I like this interpretation of Ardith Bay.
Yeah.
You know, him being this high chief, this chieftain of the Magi.
Yeah, and
you know, the former guards of the pharaohs.
Yeah, at first you think he's one of the bad guys because you never really, you see him, but you never really hear him speak until like midway through the movie.
Well, yeah.
When he finally interacts with Rick.
Yeah, well, after he starts to get to know Rick.
Yeah.
Because remember the couple other times that they kind of ran into each other, they were ready to kill each other.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy Ardith Bay in this. You know, as he is very wise, fantastic fighter, very brave.
He has a bit of the Mueller counterpart to him from the 32.
Yeah. He's the one that's the most knowledgeable about this whole situation, and he's trying to tell all of you, leave. Because you're only going to bring about incredible hardships and possibly the annihilation of the world.
And he's the one who starts the prologue at the beginning.
Yeah, he's also the narrator.
For this one and the next one.
Yeah. Well, hey, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. He's the guy that literally lives here, so might as well have that guy be the main narrator to introduce us to this, you know, the main plot of the story or the main motivation of the villain.
Although he does sort of disappear when they try to rescue Evie. You never see him fight Imhotep or anything. He just is gone, and then you think, oh, he might have died, but he's there with the horses and stuff.
With the Magi.
Yeah, ready.
Well, wasn't there something else he had to tend to before they showed up, or I think he went to go get the Magi to help if things went sideways.
I don't know. I think he was trying to do a heroic sacrifice. We never watched it.
True.
I suppose a heroic sacrifice.
True.
But then it just shows up.
Which, thank the Lord, he did not die, because he would become very instrumental in the sequel.
Yeah.
Really enjoy Ardith Bay.
Yeah.
One of my... Essentially, the whole main, you know, 4 characters that we see in this film and its sequel, I really enjoy.
I guess we talk about the red shirts then.
Okay. Yeah, the unfortunate individuals that end up essentially being fed to the main villain. But starting with Dr. Alan Chamberlain, played by Jonathan Hyde.
Yeah.
Who, he's... I guess he's mainly the intellect for the red shirts.
Yeah.
And of course he acts like a complete utter chauvinistic jerk to Evie.
Yep.
Thinking that he's smarter than her and that this is no place for a lady.
Yep. Played by Alan's father from Jumanji.
Huh.
Yeah.
Small world.
And he's red shirt number 2.
The
British one?
No, I think he's number 3. I thought he...
No, he was number 2.
No, I thought...
The way it was the other guy who passed away was number 3.
He was no... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, he was a part of the group that decided to open the box that kept the Book of the Dead, the Book of Haman-Ra.
Yeah.
And was also, you know, the chest that had, you know, the organs for Anax-Namun.
Yeah.
So yeah. Unfortunately, everyone that either opens or is associated with opening that chest, the mummy's gonna essentially suck you dry.
Yeah.
You know, literally suck the essence out of you with his overly extending mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played himself.
Yep. So let's get to the other one.
Well, Isaac Henderson, played by Stephen Dunham.
Yep.
He often shows up in a lot of the stuff that we watch.
Yeah.
This man is a true journeyman when it comes to a lot of the movies and shows that we watch. He did do a good job with what part that he had. Just unfortunate. I think, wasn't he the last one that got 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the last one that got sucked dry.
Yeah. We see him in Doctor Who, the Dalek.
Hey, like I said, a true journeyman.
Yep. Where he feels a little bit more better. Just not this one.
Yeah, because being dumb and opening things that you're not supposed to open.
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't have gone on this adventure, but...
Yeah. Then we would have seen it again in the Batgirl movie, possibly.
Oh, yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
I think he was probably going to be Killer Moth.
Yeah.
Which would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Next, David Daniels, played by Corey Johnson. Corey was the one that...
Oh, yeah, Corey's from The Dollar.
Huh?
Yeah, which one was the actor who passed away?
I
know.
I believe it was Corey Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Was the one who passed away.
Yeah.
I mean, the man was a good actor.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, everyone has this unique charisma in this film. You know, just like Stephen Dunham, so does Corey Johnson. Mm-hmm. You know, him playing with his guns and whatnot. With what part that he had, he was very enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it is very unfortunate that he did pass away over 10 years now. Over 10 years that he's been gone. But I did enjoy him. Unfortunately, he's a red shirt.
Yeah. Should we talk about the first red shirt?
Yeah. Bernard Burns, played by Tuck Watkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets the most torturous.
Yeah, because first he loses his eyes and his tongue.
Yeah.
And then he gets sucked dry.
Yeah, with Benny telling him.
Yes, Imhotep thanks you for your eyes and your tongue. But unfortunately, he must need more from you.
Yeah, you do feel kind of sad for him when he hears about it and starts crying.
Yeah. Well, what crying he can do. And also I feel bad for him because he got snuck up on because his glasses fell off and got stepped on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was not a good time for him. It was not a good time. Feel bad for him. I really do. Though, interestingly enough, it was talked about in the original story that Imhotep actually did have to get glasses because of the stigmatism Burns had. But, hey, he, magical powers, necromancy, high priest. He probably knew something that would fix his eyes. Yeah. So, hey, don't have to worry about it.
And should we also mention the other red shirt who got eaten by the scorpions from the inside?
Warden Gad Hassan, played by Omid Jalili.
Yeah.
He was also one of the comedic reliefs that was really good in this film. Yeah. You know, like I said, everybody had charisma. He was very funny, especially when he was trying to, especially during the hanging of Rick and Evelyn trying to bargain with him to spare him.
Yeah.
And he kind of played himself. She outsmarted him. He would only get 30%.
He didn't even get that.
No, because he was the first one to go down.
Yeah. And then
yeah, don't mess with things in tombs.
Yep.
Especially if they look like bugs when you know that you said you hate bugs. And but I guess no one told him about the scarabs being dormant until they're awoken.
Yep. But let's get into the villains. I still count Benny as a villain.
Oh, but don't forget about one other additional supporter. Captain Winston Havelock, played by Bernard Fox.
Yeah.
The old great pilot from the old wars. Yeah. That is out to find one more great adventure.
Yeah, and he did just that.
Yeah, died as he wanted to. One great last hurrah piloting his old airplane. Mm-hmm. And, hey, he was helpful.
Yep. So now
But now let's get into the villains. The helper or the main one himself?
let's get to the helper.
Okay.
Flash comic relief.
Quite possibly the best comic relief next to Jonathan. Benny Gabor, played by Kevin J. O'Connor.
Yep.
This man is hilarious, and my God, is he able to play such a sniveling weasel.
Yep.
To the point that almost being a sniveling weasel is kind of endearing.
Yep.
Though you still want to see him get his comeuppance.
Yeah, he sort of becomes that again in Van Helsing as Igor.
Ah.
Yeah.
Which, very interesting that we end up seeing him in a lot of stuff. You know,
Stephen Summers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin J. O'Connor is truly a great actor.
Yep.
And I believe you told me there was another interpretation of the Mummy that you said that there was a character like Benny.
Try. Well, I think it's inspired the Benny thing with the fez and all that. But in that one, the guy who wore the fez was in charge of the Mummy, and he sent the Mummy out to kill people.
Oh,
yeah. I think that also happened in the Christopher Lee movie also.
I think probably some of that did inspire.
They just reversed it and made him into like the Renfield of the Mummy.
Yeah, he's essentially the interpreter and, the sniveling little weasel to help him out. Though there are times where Benny kind of leaves him for Dodge so he can save his own neck and get treasure.
Yep.
But he is also the last one to get his comeuppance.
Yep.
And I think he got the worst one of all.
Yep.
Poor Benny.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have played yourself.
Yep, he was also a coward at the beginning.
Yeah. Again, leaving people for Dodge to save his own neck.
Yeah.
He does this throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
While at the same time, constantly instigating at Rick, where Rick should have done more to that man. Yeah. Maybe not straight up kill him, but
beat the crap out of him.
Yes. Benny deserved it.
Yeah. He beat him up a couple of times, but not quite as bad.
Yeah, not as bad as he should have got.
Yeah.
And plus it was great that Evie told him that, he's going to end up getting his comeuppance. People like you always do. Yep. Huh. They do? But let's get into the main bad himself. Mm-hmm. Imhotep, played by Arnold Vosloo.
Yep. And another regular of Stephen Summers, because he shows up again in G.I. Joe. The first one.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
And this is also first real big movie also.
Oh.
Which also, just like Rachel Weisz, he was wondering
if he picked the right choice. Why did some people not believe in this film actually being a success?
Yeah. It was also one of those times when the superhero genre was sort of dead because of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Along with other terrible spin-offs like Elektra. Well, that wasn't soon.
Well, that would be a couple years from this.
Yeah.
Well, hey, a couple years from the sequel.
Yeah.
I really like this interpretation of Imhotep because
they do use a bit of Boris Karloff.
Yes, he does do justice of the original idea of Imhotep from the Boris Karloff film because of his main love for Anaxinamun. But his whole idea of wanting to take over the world, I think that was mainly him wanting to get his vengeance on those that cursed him and also mummified him alive.
Yeah, even though they're all dead already.
Yeah, but sometimes grudges can be held even as a spirit. But I also like the idea that he was actually willing to kill the Pharaoh just to be with Anaxinamun. And the fact that she herself didn't want to be the mistress or wife of the Pharaoh. It was just the Pharaoh's will.
Yeah.
And how you going to tell the Pharaoh no?
And the Pharaoh didn't fare much better in this version.
No. He got his before everybody else got theirs.
Yeah. Also, Imhotep has a different death this time compared to the 32 one.
Very true, because in this unique interpretation, they gave him the common da of a very terrible curse to make sure that he would never be found. But if he is found and revived, he becomes an immortal, powerful force that no one can stop. Why would you do that? Were you all really that egotistical that you didn't think that this man would could potentially rise from, from his crypt and then end up dooming everyone? Yeah, we're going to make sure that this man is cursed for all eternity to burn in the underworld. But as a mulligan, we'll go ahead and give him supernatural powers.
Like Tony Stark would say, not a great plan.
Yeah. Yeah, because well-meaning but also naive individuals may read something that can bring him back to life. And then he starts sucking people whole.
Yeah.
And then can start, manifesting the sand into turning into a freaking sandstorm with his face in the center of it.
Who's afraid of cats?
Well, remember, they are the guards of the underworld.
Unlike the other movie. My other movie.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, anyone that is potentially nefarious probably is afraid of cats because they're seen as gods in Egypt. I mean, remember what I showed you in that one little meme? Meow. Hey, this MF is God, I'm telling y'all.
But let's get into the good.
Oh, wait.
Okay,
there is still... Yes.
But really, she doesn't really do much.
But we still need to properly acknowledge her. Anaxinamun, played by Patricia Velikez.
Mainly shows up in the prologue and then shows up again as a mummy.
Yeah.
And then gets killed by the mummified.
By the guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate. But, I mean, she is the main... Would you say MacGuffin?
Yeah.
The main MacGuffin of Imhotep's whole scheme and everything that's going on, because she was Imhotep's one true love.
Yep.
I mean, to the point that this man was actively trying to revive her on more than one occasion.
Yep. And he finally will succeed the next one.
Yeah. Something that all others were not able to do. He outdid Boris Karloff.
Yep.
Though Imhotep unfortunately got the worst of the deal. Not only did he get mummified alive, he got tongue cut out.
Yep.
And was fed to scarabs.
Yep. But let's finally get to the good.
Okay. Like I said, the plot is fantastic. With the premise still being faithful to the original, but it's also unique. You know, creating new unique characters, new reason on why they're going back to Hamanara, and, you know, the unique way on how Imhotep is brought back to life and how he's doing his thing to revive Anaxnamun.
Yeah.
Everyone's acting was fantastic.
Yeah.
Everyone was charismatic. Everyone was a good... half the cast was hilarious.
Yeah.
And they really knew how to play up, you know, whether it was action, whether it was horror. Everyone was on their A game with this. Yeah. Definitely have to give major shout outs to not just Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, Oded Fair, and Arnold Vosloo, but also give it to Kevin J. O'Connor. The action was just fantastic. I mean, all the great fight scenes, whether it was the gunfight on the boat, whether it was the original military fight at Hamanara, the major climax in the finale, heck, all the other fights between O'Connor and the Americans versus the Magi, all were great.
The special effects were good. Were great.
Well, yeah, for their time. Yeah.
Even though it looks weird during watching it now on DVD, but at that time it probably looked better in the theater than it did on. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was 1999. This was It was still the infancy or maybe the toddlerhood of CGI special effects, where they were starting to get good, but there was still that bit of, you know, that's not completely real. Yeah. But some of the things they did, like with Imhotep's look and a few other things, were actually pretty good for their time. Yeah. It just looked funny sometimes when his mouth really extended. Yeah. Like I also said, the vehicle chases were great. Whether it was the plane ride with the sandstorm.
I like the plane ride.
Or the car ride, where all the, you know, controlled individuals under Imhotep are trying to attack everyone. Yep. Like I said, the humor was fantastic. Yep. Everyone was fantastic when it came to humor in this. The music score.
Yep. It was scored by Jerry Goldsmith, who did Star Trek.
And this would be, unfortunately, his last.
Well, yeah, his last one. And also because he hated this film.
Why?
I think probably because of creative differences with the director.
That's not... No.
Yeah, he really did.
I don't understand why people talk bad about this film. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it may have a little bit of a B-movie quality, maybe a bit of a popcorn flick, but it really is a fun movie, and it has a good plot. Yep.
If we ever do review a lot of our movies, we should mention the scores. This is how we keep forgetting.
Yes. And, of course, what I was touching with, the character development and growing romance between Rick and Evelyn.
Which we'll play more into the next movie.
Yes, where where they did a good job with setting the groundwork on how important it would be in the sequel. You know, we really got to see them bond through this adventure, and at the same time, she kind of smooths over the rough and gruffness of Rick while he helps her get out of her shell.
Yeah.
And, you know, actually kind of enjoys having adventure.
Yep. So, we already talked about the FECGI.
Yeah, especially near the end when Imhotep is whole and his mouth extends. Well, that just looks silly.
Yeah.
I could handle it with him being mostly mummy, partially mummy, you know, like our Funko Pop here in the center. But, yeah, him as a full, whole human.
Yep, so should we get into the scores?
Yes.
I give this a 9 out of 10. I liked it. But I still have level on the original Mummy also, but I like this one because this was the first Mummy movie I got introduced to. So I like the action stuff. Maybe like Brendan Fraser again. And having the house for Rachel Weisz, but that's a different story.
Calm down, big fella. Well, for me, gotta agree with him. It's a 9 out of 10. I love this film so much. There is a good reason why it was one of my favorite films growing up. It truly is great. You know, it deserves a lot more respect than what it gets. Everyone was on their A game with this film. It helped jumpstart or revive a number of actors' careers to the point that they're still held with such great endearment today. I mean, whenever I think of Brendan Fraser, this is the first film I think of when we talk about him and his career. It's fantastic.
But if you want to tell us your opinion, go find us on Facebook, The Real Screen Team. Where else?
You can also find us on Instagram, Reddit, and TikTok.
And make sure to like, comment, share our videos, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also get your friends to subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out our videos.
Yes, because, you know, we're actually starting to get great viewership on YouTube and also on Pack 14.
Yeah.
And, you know, we really want to grow this. You know, we could potentially turn this into our career. And I would love to, you know, talk more about all these great films and television shows, maybe even expand that into more things.
Yep.
You know, we do this because we love it, and also hopefully you all love it, and hopefully we're entertaining you.
Yep. So, we finish up our Mummyathon with the next one.
Yes. In a weird way, actually, the first of these two I ever saw. The Mummy Returns.
So when are all out this time?
Well, sure. Well, thank you all for watching. Definitely come back and watch us again. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to click the post notification bell if you are already subscribed so you get updated with all of our videos. We really appreciate it. Well, cut, print, that's a wrap.